down, down, but down, jum, 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 down, 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 I wrote everybody in the world off for the infinite time today. And I've been practicing all the things I would say for my entire life. And I know that I'm being used. And it's not okay, because I don't like the abuse. Yeah, not being sarcastic. Yeah. And I don't have low self-esteem. And I'm still mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. Shit, what did I do with my camera? You know what? I don't have time for that, because I know how easily distracted I get. So listen up, okay? I was trying to tell you about the phone call I got from my singer's public defender, and why I hope to not have any sleepless nights over it, because I felt like some way I said the wrong thing for him. Like he's not going to get released because I didn't agree to take him into custody. Now, I told you guys I'm not a barrister. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. In fact, I'm a high school dropout. My name's JJ Styles, JJ Baker, JJ up your ass with the fucking Constitution of the United States of America, and also the human rights that, like, what am I supposed to say, NATO? What do they call that thing? That little group? I forget. It's like the WTO? No, that's not. The United Nations, thank you. Thank you, brain. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, fuck the WTO and fuck NATO. I was talking about the United Nations. Alright, they know what human rights. I guess NATO does too. I think everybody probably knows what human rights are. Like they matter? I don't know. Most of the people I know get to suffer and die. And those that are doing better and don't die, they get to toil away in obscurity with diseases and poverty and all kinds of regrettable things. So when I got this phone call, like I think it was Wednesday, because like on Thursday, I think I woke up at 8 in the evening, and then, or wait, on Wednesday, I woke up, today I woke up in the morning at 6 in the morning. I think it was Wednesday. I could check my caller ID if you really need me to. I think you trust me. And if you don't know me, I just told you, I'm JJ. Wake up. Alright? So I get this phone call, and it's from Phoenix. I can tell by the caller ID. I'm like, this isn't the usual 480 phone call from the prison. So I answer meekishly with a little reserve. I go, hello? And I hear a female voice over the line saying, oh, hello, is it? Okay, look, I'm not going to do the female voice, because that's ridiculous, okay? So this voice, it says, hello, I'm looking for JJ, basically. Because that's what my singer calls me, because that's my name. I'm JJ. And his public defender's asking for JJ. And I go, speaking, you've located me. How can I help thee? I didn't say thee, but you get where I'm going. Alright? If you want it verbatim, why don't you ask the NSA for it, okay? Right now, I'm just trying to not forget, because I can move on to something else, but I don't want to, because this is too regrettable, okay? So his public defender lady that I've spoken with before he got sentenced, she called over here and even spoke with my mother, who knows my singer quite well, and how nonviolent he basically is. You know, he's been known to get irate, and he's punched me before, and he's punched my bass player before, but as far as I know, he's never hurt a Circle K employee, which is the reason why he's in prison. Circle K is the reason he's in prison. He steals cigarettes and beer from Circle K. Excellent! I know, right? What a rock star? Not really, because he spent the best years of his life in prison. Okay, so where was I? She's asking me if I can speak, if I have time. And I'm like, well, I was in the middle of some, I was busy, but I dropped everything the moment I answered the phone, so how can I help you? I was basically hacking the world, hacking the planet, hacking the system. Black man, white man, red man, yellow man, hack the system. Anyways, and she's like, oh good, so I just have a few questions for you. And the truth is, she only asked me one question. So I'm thinking I answered the question wrong, and she knew it and decided to just say, I'll try elsewhere, and left me wondering, gee, what did I do wrong? But anyways, that's how that works. It's called logic. It's Boolean logic. It's like, if he answers this way, I'll do this. If he answers this way, I'll say goodbye. Okay? So I definitely answered the question wrong. She asked me if I was willing to take my singer into custody and let him live here, and if I could take care of him and watch over him and make sure he's not doing drugs or stealing things from the store or, making good music. Oh, trust me, I could watch over and make sure that happens. If he's making bad music, I'll let him know, okay? As far as his activities in society, I can't watch over him like I'm his guardian. I'm sorry, I'm too disabled. I have a serious chronic pain problem caused from multiple diseases. Diseases like early premature osteoarthritis, diseases like dystonia, traumatic brain injury, chipping of my spurs, whatever that means. Basically, my deadly rollover 20 years ago was so bad it broke the spurs off of my spine. But they didn't go anywhere, so they healed, or whatever. Bones are funny. They basically fix themselves, but they're really slow at it. Okay? So, what else? I'm probably destined for Parkinson's disease, because my father had that, and I've basically lived the same lifestyle as my father. Like the musician lifestyle of alcohol, sex, and drugs. Like, he was a very devout man, Catholic man that swore himself to Jesus Christ like a wimp. I don't know if I've ever told you this. I love my father, but I also hate him, right? I respect him, but I also think he's a weasel. Because he thought he was better than my uncle. See, my uncle was a rock and roll guy too, okay? And we all know rock and roll is a new development, so they got in on a new thing when it was good. Thank God, right? Thank dog, whatever. Look, my old man thought he was so much superior to my uncle because my Uncle Jerry. My name's Judson Gerald Baker. I'm named after my father, Judson. I'm named after my Uncle Jerry, otherwise known as Gerardo. Okay? Because he's Hispanic. Has a different father than my father's father, so he's a lot blacker. And by blacker, I mean darker. Like skin tone, tonation. My uncle taught me how to play bass guitar better than my father did. My father is a 6-string guitar player by nature and by habit, and he died a 6-string guitar player, much like my uncle died a 4-string bass guitar player. And my uncle taught me how to play bass. And I don't know if he's sleazy or slimy, because I seek the same things he sought, He sought pussy in the form of young tight bitches that look good and fuck good. You get it? It's sleazy, right? It's regrettable. Supposedly, I've heard tale that my uncle smuggled heroin into the United States using the body bags of Vietnam veterans that gave their lives for our freedom and the freedom of the Laotian or Vietnam, or I don't know. I'm a high school dropout, but I've watched King of the Hill, and I've watched like What's that one movie that's made by or not, that TV show about, like, it's made by a guy named Zed, and it's all about, like, fucking how war is hell, and how the kids that went to Vietnam were way too fucking young. It's basically disgraceful, and always will be. You know, when a oh my God. You know, when a united nation, when a united people does a bad thing, they are forever gonna have to live up to that. Like, we'll forgive. The rest of the world can forgive or whatever. You know? I'm talking about what we did to our own people. Alright? You may have your own opinions about what happened to the people in Vietnam, whether we're heroes or whether we're devils. You know, I wasn't even fucking born yet. But much like all the German kids weren't even born yet when all the World War II shit happened. But hey man, guess what? You get to live with it for eternity because it's that whacked out, man. It's that fucked up that an entire United Nation could agree to such fucked up shit. And though some protested, guess what? It only matters when the majority protests. Because if it's only the minority protesting, it's not taken seriously. It's considered disregarded, like as if it's pointless, meaningless. It's all fucking regrettable. And if I don't tell you about this conversation, I'll regret it. And I'll have to make another stream. So she's asking me if I will swear my singer into custody like a child. You know, in order to... I don't know. She didn't really explain it well at all. I'm telling you what I got out of her question. It was brief. There were few words. And at the end of her question, my heart was pounding faster than it was when I answered the phone. And I didn't want to answer the phone. So my heart was pounding pretty good when I answered. But by the time she asked me, so, I was wondering if you're capable, you know Jonathan well, right? I'm like, yeah, I know Ziva, he's my singer, I'm his guitar player, we're in a band, we're basically brothers, what are you trying to ask me? And she says, well, I'm just trying to find out if there's anyone back in Tucson, because you live in Tucson, correct? Yes, I do. Yes, okay, and Jonathan is up here in Phoenix, you know, or whatever she said. Maybe she said Nate. I don't even know, man. It's really hard to remember exact details when you're in the middle of, like, a life-threatening situation. And if I can't help get my singer out of prison, his life is threatened every day that he's in there. So, you know, I'd like to see how well you remember the facts when it comes to evidence and a lineup and all that jazz. If you're being honest and trying to say the truth, which is my heart was pounding, my mind was spinning, I was racking my brain for thoughts, I was using lots of Boolean logic with my yes and no questions I was asking myself, and when I finally gave you an answer, I was so exhausted I can't even remember what my answer was. But you see, the thing is, like I said, she said she was going to ask me a few questions, and she only asked me one. So I can still recall exactly how I was like, look, my singer's been in prison for years now. Nobody in Tucson has seen him in like 5 years or something. It's been a really long time. And what you're asking is a lot of anyone. You're asking if I will let him come stay here. And like, I can't. Not at this time. I'm doing pretty badly. I gotta get my act together before I take on any house guests. Is there anything else? Like, what are you trying to get at? Is what I was alluding to. And she's like, oh, okay, well, thank you for letting me know. A good, honest answer. I guess that's all I have for now. thank you. And before I was gonna let her hang up, I said, hey, wait a minute. You know, he does know people like Zach, his singer, in his original hip hop act 2%. You know, he has a friend that has a mother in the same household. You know, and they would probably care for him a lot better than me, because they're strong and I'm weak. And I, you know, Zach isn't exactly privileged, and you know, his mom is like, I've only known her as a single mom. You know, I don't know if his old man died or left or what, but it's a strong household, a positive influence for my singer. And I tried to convey this, but the dumb fucking bitch lawyer, the fucking lousy public defender, just kind of went, oh, okay, very good, okay, speak with you later. And I'm just like, that's not very reassuring. I wanted her to say something like, oh, thank God. Yes, I have that in my notes. Yes, Jonathan did indicate that Zach would be a very, very good choice for release into custody, you know, or whatever legal beagle words she used, man. You know, it's like I didn't know what she was asking me, but I could tell it was something along the lines of custody, which means I'm basically legally responsible for the dude. And you know what? That's not good, because I'm barely responsible for myself. Like, I'm not seriously mentally ill yet, but you know, I got fucking post-traumatic stress mixed with survivor guilt, mixed with a lifetime of regrettable, cowardly actions, because I never stuck up for my rights or anybody else's, because of that fucking homeless protest in front of that fucking federal building. You made me the way I am, so don't make me suffer for it, because I'm your responsibility, just like my singer is your responsibility, so fucking do something now! I gotta go! I can't talk about this anymore, because I'm as bad as hell! And I don't need to say it, because it's cliche and I wanna vomit! So fuck